I'm going to provide a short update. Don't judge me, guys. I'm in my isolation stage of hair and a ragged t-shirt, and I don't even want to show you what's going on, because I can't get a haircut. So it's just horrible times. Okay, so like I'm exhausted as all of you are. I mean, we're just constantly trying to figure this stuff out with regards to this distant learning, what it looks like. And guys, this is as we're going through this uncharted territory and sort of making this all up as we go. I'm going to sit there and clarify something I said in the Q&A. Depending on where your child is functioning, okay, as far as this good faith effort that the school needs to work with you to determine, you need to sit there and it needs to be a lot of communication. It still needs to be individualized to a point. The good faith effort needs to be individualized to a point. I'm hearing that some schools are just sort of dictating what distant learning looks like. That might be okay for general education, guys. It's not okay for special education. So there needs to be some semblance of individual consideration with regards to what distant learning would look like for your child. And I said in my Q&A earlier this week that, and I'm just hitting the high points because it was an hour and a half long, that, for most of the special education kids that have IEPs, the bulk of the kids that have IEPs in this country are specific learning disability, other health impairment, speech language impairment. Those make up the bulk of our special education population. You start getting into, let's say, autism. You have high functioning autism, but you start getting into the classic autism, and depending on how it impacts the child, other aspects, Down syndrome. There's going to be some marked differences with regards to how we service the kids that aren't necessarily the best candidates for distant learning, okay? To the point where we're going to try to do our best, but it also depends on how your child is with regards to attending and participating in these kind of video technology kind of formats. And like I said, I think Gemini works well, but that's also it's sort of a tried and true format. And there's nothing wrong with you bringing it up to your school system that, hey, this product's out there and this is something that we can download these videos. You don't necessarily need connectivity to do it. The school can sit there and create an account, download the videos, and then deliver it to families that don't have access to, let's say, internet. Solve a problem that way. Most families are going to have some kind of technology and connectivity. They just need the account. They may need the device, but then they're off to the races with something like Gemini that would address or satisfy some of this distant learning. But let's say that that's not an option. They don't want to do that, or let's say you don't want to do it. This is what I'm doing for my child, okay? Because my daughter, 16 years old, she has classic autism, communicative difficulties, but also she has a short attention span and her ability to attend isn't that great. So if we did distant learning for her, it would be, quite frankly, a big pain in the butt for not only the staff, but also it would require myself or my wife to proctor and sit next to my daughter during any of the instruction, and who knows how that would work out. She's 16, and she'll do some stuff, but I don't know for how long. And so it's just one of those things to where we recognize how much pressure this is putting on the educators as much as it is on the parents. And this is where I want parents to, you got to appreciate the fact that your teachers, most of them have children. Most of them have small children. Most of them have children that are also the responsibility of other teachers, either in their own school system or in a neighboring school system. So they have children at home that are the responsibilities of other teachers, And yet they're supposed to sit there and find a time and find an opportunity to provide distant instruction while coordinating how their children are going to be instructed, or who's going to entertain their children while they're instructing your child. This uncharted territory, as I called it in the beginning, is very real, to the point where this is just unrealistic for a lot of teachers that are parents as well, and especially parents of small children. And I have many, many teachers out there that are parents of special needs children that here, once again, they may be responsible for your child or a group of general education kids, but then nobody's also there for their child. That's why we need to be flexible. And for as much as we can, we need to take the pressure off of our educators for those of us who have children that just don't fit into this sort of uncharted territory. So instead of wasting time trying to invent the wheel, what I'm doing for my kid, or what I'm suggesting to my team, is that we consider April and May her summer. She's having summer break right now. That's her summer break. And then by the time June rolls around, what I'm hoping is that this COVID non-contact stuff is lifted, which enables my daughter to participate in a pretty good person-to-person type of normal instruction. And if that's the case, then I'll defer and I'll just treat the next 2 months as her summer, where she wasn't getting summer services anyway, and then move her services that she should have been getting right now over to the summer, and then really hit it hard going into August. So the parents that have moderately impacted or severely impacted kids, where everybody's just sort of racking their brain, this is an option. And it may be a great option because it takes another child out of the concern of what are we going to do. And all you need to do is write it down, notate it in a prior written notice that by mutual agreement, we've decided to delay or defer any kind of good faith services until the summer, in hopes that we'll be able to return to in-person interaction. Something as simple as that, guys. You're not waiving participation, you're deferring it. You're not saying I don't want them. You're saying I don't want them now. You're deferring them to this point in the summer. I just wanted to throw that out there. And the other thing is, I've seen this mad rush with regards to, you got to have your IEP meeting. If they want to have your IEP meeting right now, have your IEP meeting. But quite frankly, these are all procedural things that I think are going to be part of the limited waiver. So I don't know why everybody's so freaked out about it. Yes, as of right now, everybody needs to hold to the timelines and everything. But the law's already there to, by mutual agreement of the school and the parent, you can extend your current IEP. You can agree to extend it for a few months. And that's all most of you need. Is you just need to help your school by a few months so that they can focus on this distant learning and trying to figure out how to continue business in this little short blip of time. It will be over soon. You got to think about that. This is only 2 months, guys. Throw March out. I'm talking about April and May. And I have a feeling that this stuff's going to be lifted hopefully sometime in May. And this would have been a nightmare that we could all sit there and get over. Hopefully learn something from. But that's what you need to keep in mind. Okay? But I just wanted to do, I guess, a relatively short video, sort of bringing up more ideas. Okay?